Vittoria would transport Steve and his party close to where the border of Siltvelt was. She had also warned Steve that the other heroes were in the vicinity. She implored him to keep his promise, to try to make peace with them. Of course, for Steve, he knew that this would be a lot easier said than done. The boys didn't want to listen to reason. Nothing he had to say was going to get through to them. Of course, it still didn't mean he wasn't going to try. Please, Shield Hero. The waves of calamity can only be stopped if the four heroes work together. You act like I don't understand that. I'm trying my hardest out here. They're not making it any easy. Then please try harder. I implore you. I'll do my best, but I'm just one man. I can't work miracles. Traveling by carriage, they would see the border off ahead. Steve could tell that the other heroes were there and waiting. He would have the carriage stop ahead of time. I'm going to go on ahead alone, you guys. But Steve, Raftalia would say, you can't just go on your own. You don't know what they'll do to you. It's fine. Most importantly, you guys need to stay safe. I'm not saying that I'm going in alone, but I'd like to avoid any unnecessary drama. If a situation does get too dire, Philo, I want you to get everyone out of here as quickly as possible. Raftalia, you'll be in charge of the group. Against their wishes, they would nod in understanding. Raftalia, Ake having their hands on their swords, ready to draw them if need be. Melty waiting alongside Philo. The four watching as Steve walked on ahead down the dirt road, arriving just to the walls that were in the border from Melramark to Siltvelt. Ren, Itsuki, and Motoyasu all standing at the gate, waiting for him. It's just as he said, Motoyasu spoke to the others. He arrived just on time. Yeah, it's almost creepy to think. No matter, we know what we need to do. I take it you guys have been waiting for me? The three said nothing as they walked, all of them getting into a circular formation until each one was having him surrounded. Steve simply shook his head, taking a deep breath and closing his eyes. So that's how it's gotta be, huh? And I take it we're not going to be able to talk like civilized individuals? A lightning cage would form around them, a barrier to keep anyone from leaving. That's how it's gotta be. Before we get started, any of you want to get out of here? Motoyasu would quickly pick up his spear and throw it right at Steve. Steve deflecting it with his shield just for Ren to get behind with a sword. Going in for a slash, he would move away once again, only for Itsuki to shoot off energy arrows right at him. All three of them were moving in perfect coordination with one another. Their ferocity far greater than anything Steve had ever comprehended before. They weren't the same. So, seems the only way to get you guys off your lazy asses is when you're trying to kill me, huh? We're doing what needs to be done, Ren said. This is our destiny. We can't try to fight it. To defeat and kill the devil of the shield, Motoyasu said. That is why we three heroes were chosen. And I guess I'm not a hero as well? You yourself said it. You were never a hero, not like us. You just hide behind false pretense. The more we think about it, how much of you is even a hero in the first place? You are a hero by chance, all because of some miracle formula, nothing more. Anyone could have been Captain America. Anyone. What makes you so special? Nothing really. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. But let me ask, what makes any of you all any better? At least from my point of view, all I see are a bunch of losers who never amounted to much in their world. Is that a fact? It's the truth. I mean, come on. You boys sit in your rooms all day playing video games and whatnot. Whatever you call those things. You don't have what it truly takes. You're not really like that. Trust me. The three boys would continue to fight against Steve, but he could tell that there was something off about them. They were tapping into a dangerous power. It was similar to the Rage Shield. Rage Bow, Rage Sword, Rage Spear. So they're locking into the Rage power, huh? You guys have any idea of what that power really does to you? It's what you used, isn't it? You were trying to hold out on us. This is how you were able to get so strong so fast. It's clear to us now. You wouldn't have been good otherwise. Always have to be a cheater, huh? Because you couldn't match us with your own merit and your own worth. Always trying to get one up. You've been acting like a punk ever since you got here. Walking around Boston, making orders, acting like you run the damn place, Motoyasu would say. Meteor Spear! Raging Pierce! Steve would have no choice but to use a more powerful airstrike shield. 3 layers of the shield in order to stop the piercing spike, only for him to be shot in the back by 2 of the arrows, as another slash would come from Ren's sword, cutting away at his arm. Motoyasu would run back once again with his spear, looking to skewer him right in the chest. Steve narrowly dodged. The boys were definitely different than they had been. Was this the power of the Rage series, or was it something else? It was like they were juiced up on steroids or something. That had to be the case. Their skin was starting to turn bright red, their veins beginning to bulge through their forehead. They looked feral in the eye, as if they were losing their own mental state and faculty. It's taking over. You guys need to stop now while you're ahead. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Always trying to get one up on us. The great Captain America. Please. You're overrated. You're an old man out of your element. You kept going on and on about how we'd never be able to catch you. And now you want to call for peace when you're a wounded animal. The least you could do is die like a man, on your feet, instead of acting like a coward. Is that really what you think, Motoyasu? And it's obvious to me that you haven't learned anything. All right, if that's really what you want. Killing you is the only way to save this world. It's obvious. You've been behind it all from the very beginning. The fact that you were conversing with that woman during the waves. You're the deceiver of the game. Deceiver? There's always one amongst the party. A good old Judas. That's what you are. So, you boys actually read the good book. I almost say I was impressed, if you weren't a bunch of idiots. If that's truly what you think I am, then, well, you're free to believe whatever you want. I'm done trying to convince a bunch of brats otherwise. And if we're going to be honest here, then there's no point in me holding back and saying how I really feel. Personally, I think all of you are pathetic. You're poor excuses of man if I've ever seen one. Each one of you walking around here, throwing your weight around, acting like your shit don't stink. Yeah, I've seen guys like you, It doesn't matter what time you come from. Men like you, let me say that better, boys like you always exist. The boys that want to play soldier. And hey, I can relate. I used to do the same thing when I was young. But still, to see what you've all become now, the fact that you're allowed yourself to be used so easily, and that you can't even see the truth. Honestly, it's shameful and pathetic. In the meantime, Princess Mine and her forces were attacking Philo and the others. Steve could see what was happening in the distance. And now you're going to drag them into it. Put down this damn barrier. I have to help them. You're not going anywhere, Devil of the Shield. Once we kill you, we'll be able to free all of them from your influence. Philo, Princess Melty, Raftalia, even that poor soldier boy. His name's Ake. Same difference. We're gonna save him. All from your influence. You won't be able to control them any longer. Control? Do you have any idea what will happen to them? In all likelihood, they'll have Ake executed for treason. Princess Melty will be assassinated. Raftalia and Philo. Do you know about the slavery going on in Melremark? What's happening to the demi-humans? If she goes back there, her life's as good as over. I won't let that happen. I won't! Steve kicked all of them back, his shield setting ablaze as it turned into the Rage Shield. This is your last warning. Stand down, or I will put you down. So, you're finally starting to drop the facade and show your true colors, huh? Devil of the Shield, Motoyasu said. I'm gonna free Philo. I'm gonna make sure that she's properly safe and secure. She'll never be under your tyranny again. Steve had enough of Motoyasu's words as he punched him in the face before quickly darting towards Itsuki before he could fire off a shot, knocking him in the gut, turning his shield around at the last second to block away Ren's sword strike, kicking the blade out of his hand before grabbing him by the collar and kneeing him in the chest, throwing him quickly to the ground. The boys continued to tap more and more into the power of rage, Steve responding with himself. 4 cardinal heroes, all of them embedded with the power of the Rage series, attacking and clawing and fighting with one another like a bunch of vicious wild animals. Raftalia and Ake in the meantime stood back to back fighting off against the other knights, while Melty would continue to fend off her sister Mine. You should do yourself a favor, sister. Just let go. I promise it will be quick and painless. How could you be so cruel, sister? Why? Why did it have to be this way? Don't act like you're innocent in all of this. Always kissing up to Mother, acting as if you were her favorite child. Why do you have so much malice and evil in your heart? Despite everything that's happened, all I've ever wanted to do was love you, and yet time and time again, you break my heart. And why? What have I ever done to you? You were born, that's what. I'm the eldest, and yet every time Mother looks at me, all I see is disgust and contempt. Because you won't turn away from your evil. Think about what you've done. You want to be queen one day, yet you don't use the power responsibly. You hurt the people under you. You treat them as insignificant. You don't care about their lives. How could you possibly call yourself a queen? A queen is supposed to care for those under her, to be a protector. Yeah. And when I needed protecting, where was Mother? The queen. The self-proclaimed protector of Melremark. And yet she couldn't protect her own daughter. So no, I don't particularly care what happens to you. Quite frankly, what happens to Mother either. It doesn't really matter to me at this point. The only thing that matters is wiping you from my life. So please, dearest younger sister, if you truly love me the way that you say you do, then give me what I want. Give me your death. The others continued to defend themselves against mine and their soldiers. Steve, in the meantime, fending off against the other heroes. He was finally reaching his limit. At this point, there wasn't going to be an outcome where everyone could be saved. It was either kill or be killed. It took more power for Steve to restrain himself than to try to go all out, fighting against 3 individuals who wanted him dead by any means necessary. There wasn't an underhanded trick, no underhanded tactic, nothing they weren't willing to do to try to gain the edge, even if it meant bumping into each other. Of course, Steve thought about Fatoria, the former Filolial Queen. He thought about what she had asked of him. I tried my best, but they won't listen to me. Perhaps we're all foolish. Perhaps all of this was a mistake. If I can buy them time, if I can make sure that they get somewhere, maybe they'll have a chance. Using his power, Steve would attempt to use the shield prison, locking away the 3 other heroes who are about to break the restraint, just long enough as Steve yelled to everyone in the distance. Raftalia! Take everyone! Get out of here! Find the queen. You'll be safe with her. What? What are you? I'll buy you as much time as I can. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to be dragged down with me. No, we can't leave you, Philo would say. I'll be all right. Just go. Just as the other heroes were starting to break free, Steve was going to begin to chant. I'll summon 4 Iron Maidens, 1 for each of us. I have just enough power to do it. It may not be pleasant, but it's for the best. We weren't meant to be here. I wasn't meant to be here. Maybe the next set of heroes can do what we couldn't. If I have to go down, and I'm taking you all with me, we'll all go to the Iron Maiden. Of course, just before Steve had a chance to enact his plan, the barrier would indeed be broken. Multiple soldiers would appear, each of them standing behind the 3 heroes. They were tired, spent. They had used up almost all of their mana. We finally got backup, Motoyasu said. Well, better late than never. Right, Itsuki joined them. If we all work together here and now, we can strike him down. He can't beat all of us. Steve stared down the whole battalion. He hated to admit it, but they were probably right. The shield could only do so much, and truth be told, he really didn't have the heart to kill any of them. But he was prepared to make that sacrifice. He started to map out a strategy. If I get close enough to Motoyasu, maybe I can snap his neck. Then maybe I can use my shield to break the other 2. It won't be pleasant, but It should buy them enough time. And then from there, I'll just let them finish me. However, what happened next surprised everyone. The soldiers attacked, but not against Steve. Ren, Itsuki, and Motoyasu were all struck down. All of them lying on the ground in a pool of their own blood. What the? But why? This farce has gone on long enough. Wouldn't you agree, Lord Zemo? Yes. It seems as though the heroes have served their purpose well. Though I must admit, they fought with great ferocity. It was the Pope, Pope Balmus, and a man dressed in what appeared to be violet or a shade of purple. He wore a mask that covered his face. The masked figure in question would move to the ground quickly, collecting the three great weapons, the spear, the sword, and the bow. He wore what appeared to be a specially made glove, as one by one, with great strain and effort, he plucked each of the gemstones, the blue, the red, and the yellow. The Pope then handed down to Zemo what appeared to be a sword. Within the sword, there were 3 spots, each one for said stone. Of course, the stones did not go inside willingly. There was great strain and effort on his part, but once they were in place, the sword began to glow, as it transformed from weapon to weapon to weapon, all at will. The legendary weapon, the power of the 3 great heroes in the palm of my hands. Truly fascinating. As I told you, it will be your salvation, Lord Zemo. What's the meaning of this? What have you done? The soldiers all backed away from the heroes as Steve moved to them, immediately using potion to treat their wounds. They were half conscious, barely hanging on to life, as Steve looked up to Zemo in question, who raised his sword preparing to strike him. At the last moment, Steve raised his shield to match against Zemo. Who are you? I am a man that will right the wrongs of this world. And I will start by doing away with the devil of the shield. So you're not a fan of the shield hero either. But why kill them? It's obvious that they were loyal to you. They were loyal to power, loyal to money, loyal to women, loyal to the immoral things of this world. They cared not for their loyalty to me. And it does not matter, for I have gained what I wanted from them. They wanted true power, and I gave them just that. I allowed them to become corrupted, so corrupted to the point where they are beyond redemption. But all of you false heroes are. You are no longer needed. With this power, I can fight back the waves myself. I will take back my kingdom. I will take back my honor. And I alone will sit on the throne of Melramark. But take solace, shield hero. As Zemo pressed the blade against his shield, he leaned close enough to Steve's ear. Just enough so that he could hear him alone. I will grant your final request, shield hero. Once all of you are dead, don't worry. I won't think of summoning you heroes to this world ever again. This concludes The Rising of the Shield Hero, The Man Out of Time. What if Captain America was the Shield Hero? Season 1, Part 6. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow morning as we'll be continuing with The Rising of the Shield Hero, The Man Out of Time. What if Captain America was the Shield Hero? Season 1, Part 7. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.